Welcome to Sharing the Magic, the podcast that sweeps you away into the enchanting realms of Disney. Each week, we're joined by a special guest, be it a magician casting real-life spells of wonder, sharing the magic, a Disney expert, the podcast that sweeps you away into the heart of the happiest realms on Earth. Disney.
Together,
each week,
we'll venture down
by a
glittering
special
paths,
guest,
uncovering tales of daring
real-life
heroes,
spells of wonder.
Is it supposed to cut out like that?
No! Oh, I messed up. Oh, y'all.
Yeah, I heard it double and
Yeah,
cut
that was
out.
weird. Okay. Hold on, I'll edit. Let's try it one more time. Let's see. Let's see what we can do. Well, I'll post it. I'll post it. Here, I'll do it in real time. Let's see what we can do. What is going on here? Testing 1, 2. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to Sharing the Magic. I'll post it. Here, I'll do it in real time. Let's see what we can do. Okay.
There's a delay. I'm hearing it twice. Everything you're saying.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Welcome to Sharing the Magic. Okay. What about now? Is it me?
I can't hear anything.
I can only hear you once now.
Yeah.
Well, only hear me once is good, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So what if we do this? Okay. Let's try one more time, because I can edit. It's all good. Oh, hey, everyone. Can you do me a favor? Mute yourself. I forgot to say that. Yeah, so that could be it. Let's try this.
Magic, the podcast that sweeps you away into the enchanting realms of Disney. Each week, we're joined by a special guest, be it a magician casting real-life spells of wonder or a Disney expert revealing hidden secrets in the heart of the happiest place on Earth.
Together, we'll venture down glittering paths, uncovering tales of daring heroes, legendary places, and whimsical wonders that make Disney sparkle.
So prepare to be enchanted, delighted, and transported to a place where dreams dance, fairy tales breathe, and the magic is real.
All right, here we go. That was that little bit better. How did we fumble our way through that? Probably not as well. We'll keep.
No, that sounded perfect.
Okay. Well, I'll hit it hard, like edit tomorrow. How's everyone doing?
Good. How are you?
Yeah. How's your week? It's been a very busy summer, hasn't it?
It has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we have a
Gonna be
wonderful.
over.
Really?
Is
Is that how
gonna be
everyone
over
feels
before we
all
know
of a
it.
sudden, huh?
No, I was gonna say summer's gonna be over before we know it.
No. Isn't that how summer kind of is?
Yeah,
Mhm.
schools go back soon.
I mean, it's already Halloween, basically.
Oh, no. Halloween is my birthday, and I don't want to be older yet.
Is it really? Okay, I'm going to break
Yes.
character. Mine's the 30th. Is yours really the 31st?
Mine's the 29th.
Yes.
So we have the
Really?
29th, the
Halloween.
30th, and the 31st. Are we
That's
all
crazy.
Scorpios here? Is that what
Yeah,
it is?
we are.
We are.
Mickey's Not So Scary starts in a couple weeks, right? Like 2 weeks?
I
It's gonna-
know.
If that's true, it's going to be an intense podcast tonight, everyone.
It will be
A bunch of
intense.
Scorpios up in here, sharing their feelings,
Scorpios and
taking
Aquarius.
revenge on the world. I don't know.
Yeah, I had a friend call me last week. She was like, "Hey, I'm coming down. You want to go to the first Halloween party?" I'm like, "Are you nuts? I'm not going in August. It's way too hot."
It's hot.
Okay, so we have
Yeah.
a great group tonight, and I forgot this last week. I'm so sorry, everyone, but I forgot to introduce our our hosts, and so I'm going to start with Venerina. Venerina, how are you doing? Real quick.
Hi, I am doing great. I'm joining in from Daytona Beach, Florida, and I'm so excited to talk to Miss Elaine tonight.
Yeah. Ashley, how's Stitch behind you?
He's great. I wish I was on the Disney boat, but I'm right behind the Magic Kingdom, so I can't complain.
Sounds pretty good. Don, Don, how's life? You seem all tanned up for this from the summer, and you just
It's the
seem like you're living.
California glow. I was
Yeah,
well, I
yeah, I
went to
love it.
Disneyland, so I cheated on Disney World. Ooh,
You cheated on me too. You went to California without me.
I know, but I was miles and miles away from you because California is
That's
ginormous.
true.
But
I know.
I'm excited tonight with our guest because it's one of my favorite restaurants,
Me
and
too.
my kids have always loved it. So I'm not going to give it away. I'll let you give it away, but I'm excited to be here. Welcome. And I'm Dawn from Houston.
Don from Houston. Okay, Lisa.
Hi, I'm Lisa from Central Florida, a little west of the Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios and all of those other places. Um, it's been nice and a little bit of rain today off and on, but I am not sweating that.
Okay.
We needed the rain.
Amen.
All right. Jackson, my friend, good to see you.
It is good to be here. I'm up in Idaho and it's been a little toasty, but I'm really excited to hear from Elaine today. It's going to be a real special episode, so I'm looking forward to it. Let's get going.
Yeah, let's do it. My name is Jeff. I'm the host of this here podcast, and I love Goofy. I love voices. I'm just a huge fan of Disney, and I sometimes I give our guests a little bit of a goofy greeting, so I'll just go, "Hey, Gorge, well, it's nice to have you here." Yeah. So, Elaine, Elaine, welcome. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
well,
I'm
you're well. You're
excited to
very.
do this.
We do it all the time. We do this all the time, but it's so
Welcome.
yeah, welcome and wonderful to have you. I know we're excited to have you, and we're excited to have you because Venerina was really the person behind having you here, and you know, I'm a California person, but we got a lot of people here who are just live in Disney World and in that
Literally live.
yeah, and are just
All
so
the time.
happy that you're here, and I'm happy you're here. I read the People article, and I'm already spoiling who you are, Elaine. I'm so sorry, because our next question is, hey, who are you, and how did you get, how did you fall in love with Disney? And I'm gonna stop there, and I'm gonna ask that question because I'm already I'm already I'm already spoiling who you are and why you're here. So you are Elaine, and our question is, who are you and how did you fall in love with Disney?
All right. So I'm Elaine, and I work at 50s Primetime, and we're a themed restaurant. So we're all a character as far as a family member. So when I went there, um, 28 years ago to prime time, I said, I want to be everybody's favorite aunt. Everybody needs a favorite aunt. You don't need another mother or brother or cousin or sister. I'm going to be Annie Lane. So that's how my character came about. Fell in love with Disney. Well, I came down on spring break. I didn't have a job. They were having a job fair. I said, what's a year? I'm going to work at Disney for a year. And 51 years later, I'm still there.
I love that.
It's
And I
awesome.
love it.
I love that your story, if I'm right, if I'm wrong, please tell me. But it feels like you grew to love Disney more and more, from year one to year two and three, and that's a story we don't often hear. It's usually like, this was the day it's almost like a salvation thing. I found Disney. And then but sometimes Disney grows on you, year after year. And I don't know if this is true about you, but it seems like it kind of grew on you.
Yes. Well, in the beginning, what I would say about Disney back then, obviously we weren't as big as we are right now. And everybody knew everybody that was anybody. So, like, the guy that interviewed me, his name was Ken Phillips. And the guy that did my traditions, his name was Lee. And I can remember my first chef, my first manager, because they made a difference in me. Because back then you felt like you were somebody. You're going to create magic for people. And so, my one thing that I think I probably took away from the beginning is you never know if it's their first visit, their second visit, or their last visit. So you gotta make it happen and make it magical.
I love that. I'm gonna. Here's where the magic happens, everyone. Where I turn it over to our co-hosts, and Venerina is the person that reached out to you. I would love to hear what she has to say. Don, Ashley, Lisa, and Jackson, you all just take over for a while, and let's start with Venerina. Can we start with you? And
Sure.
and then just, hey, you guys just take over and ask good questions, because I know this is important, because a lot of you have been to the diner. You've there's a special place in your heart for our guests tonight. So let's start with Venerina and let's go from there.
Okay. So my question is, you worked 51 years at Disney, but what was the moment that you knew that you wanted to work at 50's Primetime? Like, did you just walk in and immediately love at first sight, like, I want to be here? Or was it the people or?
So no. So what happened was, I was actually in back in the day, which I'm sure you still can do it today, but you could take classes and move up within the company. So my desire was training. And I worked very hard to do all my classes, and it fell under HR. So I got to do training in the Magic Kingdom for food and beverage. And I did that. And then I moved up, and then I did like the 30, 60, 90-day classes. And I did that. And my big thing was, if you get them in the beginning and they know what Walt's expectations were, and they know what they are going to be held accountable for, they're going to be good cast members.
That's a
But then,
whole other podcast right there. Walt's expectations. I love that. That is so insightful. Continue. I'm so sorry.
so then they built Disney University, and everybody went there for their training. I'm not an IT person by any means. And I was afraid that if the computer went down, I wouldn't be able to bring it back up. So they said, what do you want to do? And I said, I'll go back to waiting tables. So
wow.
I went to Chef Mickey's to look around. I went to Whispering Canyon to look around, and I went to Primetime to look around.
Yeah.
I went back to Primetime 5 times.
Wow.
And I said, if I gotta go back to waiting tables and working, I'm going to Primetime. And I've been there 28 years.
Wow.
And I love it.
That's one of my favorite restaurants on property.
Me too.
I love the stories. My favorite. I was looking at the article about you in People Freaking Magazine, by the way. And my favorite part wasn't just the article; it was what people have said about you. It was so. This is so funny. This is Jesus said, "Congratulations." This is in the comment section. February 1st, 2026. Congratulations, Aunt Elaine. I have wonderful memories of you because I saw you upset and you were always willing to help and smiling. Wow. And then there's another one that said she told me to eat my vegetable. Oh, here it is. The first time we went to the 50s Primetime Cafe was in 1998, and we were lucky enough to get Aunt Elaine as our server. There were 12 in our group, and she admonished my best friend to finish his vegetables. We were 40 at the time. She even made airplane noises to get him to take a bite.
That's so cute.
How beautiful are these stories of just, and these are years ago,
Uh-huh.
like,
It's crazy.
Yeah,
yeah.
you've waited on us before. It's been a while, but I've had you before.
But
Yeah.
And you've always made us smile.
I treat everybody the same. I can honestly say I treat everybody the same.
yeah. And that's
Yeah.
profound. I think that's, wow. And I don't know, somebody asked me this the other day. They said, Jeff, how do you want to make your mark on the world? And I said, well, I have a job, I do this. And then they slowed me down and said, no, that's not what I'm asking. How do you want to make your mark on the world? And it's very seldom that you have a job in which you can make someone come out. This is why I laughed at these, and I laughed in not as profound when I see these comments on this section on People Magazine, because it's like you're not just doing a job. These are people, they're like 1998. And your story of how that one interaction, they still remember, how you made them feel, and how enough to read this article and to post, and gosh, that has to make you feel like you're on the right track, right?
On the right track.
Yeah.
I say that my job is my purpose in life.
Yeah.
And everybody needs a purpose. And I have no trouble getting up and going to work every day. Yes, there are days where you don't have what you need to do your job, but you get it done. I mean, it's things happen. I mean, you're in a restaurant, but as far as the people go, I mean, I have stories that people are like, how did that happen? And I'm like, I don't know. It just happened.
Yeah. I
It's
love that.
crazy. They come back.
I have a lot to say to that, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a pin, because I love to save these big, like, if you were like, what do you have to say to, I don't know, like, just the bigger existential questions, sort of things, the bigger questions I like to save towards the end, but we like to have some fun in the middle. And so I don't want to get us too deep in the rabbit trail. But Ashley, what do you think? What's on? What kind of questions do you have in your mind right now?
I would love to know, like, what is your favorite meal that you recommend to people? I get told several different things every time, something different every time we go in. So I'm just curious.
Well, so it's a matter of if they're caught between two different entrees and can't decide, I always gear towards the fried chicken. Our
Okay,
fried
that's my
chicken
favorite.
is our number one seller. But then we have mom's favorites, and you get fried chicken, pot roast, and meatloaf. And it's like a sample. It's 2 ounces of each meat. But our chicken pot pie, we make our chicken pot pie. That's one thing that is a positive thing, is we actually make our products, most of them that we serve. So it's
That's
good. I mean,
awesome.
the meatloaf's homemade. I mean, the chicken pot
Yeah.
pie is homemade. So it's good food. So that's like almost the top of the notch for coming in to eat, because you're in a theme park and It's a little costly, but it's good food.
It
Bef-
is.
so
It's
before
definitely better than like the Hollywood and Vine buffet food.
It's hard because a buffet is usually character
yeah,
related, you know?
True.
So I don't think people really are that obsessed with what they're going to eat when they go to the buffet. They're more entitled for the characters. I could be wrong, but that would be like my analogy.
so you work at there's this, it's an awesome diner. It's nostalgia feels and
Yes.
people, yes, and I love, that's my world. Heaven to me is just going backwards in time. Like if I had a time machine, I wouldn't be here. I'd go back to maybe the 50s, maybe the 70s, maybe certainly the 80s. Um, and before we get to Don, because I Don,
80.
call me. No, 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 no. But I because I'm an '80s person. How do you feel about? Is there a? This is it. Just popped in my head. So you're there in this nostalgic place that is bringing other people joy from this nostalgic era, and it could be. It's so funny. People say 30 years ago, like if you're someone like from me that grew up in the 80s, the 50s is really, and there was a big nostalgic boom in the 80s that went back to the 50s and loved it. And so with people my age, these diners that are like 50s diners are I love it. I feel like that. If I could just have a time machine, I would go right back there. And I bet you see people come to life, certainly day after day, like they walk in and there's just sort of a looking around.
Oh yeah, and then they're like, "Oh my gosh, my grandmother had this exact table," or
Yeah.
"My aunt had that set of dishes," or
Yes.
the glasses. I mean,
Yeah.
it's so the one little downfall would be the younger generation that doesn't have any idea.
Mm-mm.
But when I greet my tables, the first thing I ask them is, have you been in mom's house before?
Wow.
And whether they say yes or no depends on my spiel, so
Int-
that I can get them back in the 50s if they've never been there, or if they've been there, it's just welcome back, because they should know what is going on.
And I think the 50s was such a most interesting timeline because I can say the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, those are a lot more niche in a way. But the 50s is sort of, to me at least, is like the baseline. Like, no matter which generation you are, we all sort of we think about motorcycles, we think about the diners, we can think about, there's all these sort of cultural things that no matter which generation you're in, the 50s always sort of had a part in all the unfolding generations. That's my take on it. And I
Yeah.
think that's why I think like a 50s, um, to have
Oh,
to do it. Yeah. Well, if does anyone want to piggyback off that or to make me sound smarter?
No,
Oh, wait a minute. Let me think about that one. No, what I was gonna say was the 50s reminded me, and when I took my kids, we actually did have you serve us and my lovely children. There's a TV on. We don't have TV on when we eat dinner. There was, there were like all these rules. And mine were very much rule followers. And so we had quite the interesting interactions. But, in the 50s, everyone still ate together.
thank
There
you.
was typically a parent that was there still cooking the meal you know, quite often the mom was there, fixing the dinner, calling everyone, correcting the manners, get your elbows off the table, chew your food, don't talk with your mouth open, all of those rules. Like, are there some, that's what the 50s still mean to me. But I had a question for you, like, are there certain like certain phrases that you consistently use while you're at work that that you you know, eat all your vegetables is one. Are there others?
Well,
Get your
the
elbows
one
off the
thing,
table.
well, yes and no, because I'm the favorite aunt. I want you to have fun with me.
Yeah.
So it's not a whole bunch about the rules, but you need to eat your veg. You'd be surprised how many kids I can get to eat their food. I mean,
That's
and mom
amazing.
and dad will say, "What do you work tomorrow?" Or, or I might tell them that if they don't eat at least half, mom and dad will pick them up at 5 o'clock. I'm going to babysit again.
Uh-huh.
That's so
And
cute.
That's awesome.
That's
and one
funny.
of the things that I say, if they've never been there before and you have like a 7-year-old, I would say, "You don't remember me? I'm Annie Lane. I'm your favorite aunt. I used
Oh,
to
That's
babysit
great.
when you were little and you were a whiner. You don't remember me?"
that's
And the
Yeah,
kids
and
so
look at their
they say
parents like,
no. And then I say, "Well, you won't forget me when you leave."
and
there
according
you go.
to the comment section on People magazine, they have not. They haven't. And I think you're right. That's the difference between saying
Yes.
eat your vegetable and embodying a character as your loving aunt says, eat your vegetables. There's a difference between eat your and looking at someone with love and being a character, but in a benevolent sense, being like, this is I think that is profound as far as it comes to the Disney, because people meet the characters. It's a suit. It's a goofy a Pluto, a whatever, and they break down in tears over these characters. That's beautiful. But then to walk into a diner and to have someone also being like, "It's my aunt," you know, that with consistency that it says, I think that, and your longevity and your perseverance and the just being there, what a testimony, I think, to. I'm just amazed. I'm amazed at how long you've been there and your perseverance, and how, when I read these comment sections, it's like, this is from 1998. This isn't just a burning brightly thing where you were there really quickly and you left. This is a year after year after year after year thing, and making a difference in people's lives year after year after year after year. And that's not something I think that we always celebrate as much as we should, you know.
So I just recently took a trip. I had a grandson graduate from college in Texas. And then the following weekend, I had to go to
Dawn.
Alabama for my other grandson's high school graduation. Okay.
Okay.
5 stops that I made in my little journey were guests that I have waited on.
Oh
And
my
my first stop was with my friend Kathy and
Uh-huh.
her husband in Alabama that I worked with in 1975 when I started in the Contemporary.
Wow.
And we've been friends
Wow.
the whole time. So
God.
I cherish my friends, and people are important to me.
Seems like so. Dawn, she
I
said
wanted
Texas. You're
I
next.
know, I'm next. I wanted to say, first of all, you look fabulous. And I don't know if everyone can see you, or if we're on, like if people are listening or not, but you definitely, I'm going to say your age because it's in People magazine, but 72 years old, and you do not look a day over 50. I mean, you look amazing. So it's either because, or a combination of the food at the diner, or or it's your love of what you do, which brings that glow and the purpose that you're fulfilling. And you're also in all these people's memories, which to me is just amazing. But I do have a question other than just bragging on you. So the menu, so there's like Aunt Liz, and there's Grandpa Gene, and then there's Cousin Megan. Are these fictitious characters, Or is there a story behind, because Disney does storytelling so well, there has to be meaning behind this. Could you fill us in?
Okay, so they are all cast members that had worked with us at primetime and have since passed away.
Oh, I love that.
And
But
we,
that
as a
memory.
group, went to our leaders, who in turn had to go to their leaders, who in turn had to go to legal, who in turn had to go to whoever to get the names added to the entrees.
Okay, I have chills all over me right now because
I know.
true.
that is
Yeah.
does the general public know that? Is that somewhere in the record, or is it just by me asking?
There are people that have asked, and then I share the story because it's a true story, you know. But again, they were people that worked with us that made an impression on us as cast members, and we wanted them to be remembered. And so,
I love that.
but it took a lot to do it.
Oh, I
But
can imagine. I can
yeah,
imagine. But
yeah.
that is remarkable.
So
It
they
is.
were real people. They were
That's a wonderful
good, real people.
That's cool.
That's a wonderful tribute. I love hearing that.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's true.
Hey Jackson, what do you think? What's on? And then free for all. We'll do a free for all after this.
Well, I don't know. I've had a lot of thoughts and a lot of questions, and I've been recalling back to my time that I went to 50s primetime like a few months ago for my honeymoon. But
No way.
yeah, we took our honeymoon there and we went to primetime and it was awesome. I have zero complaints. Fantastic place. But I was wondering if there was a way, so if you ever had a family or kids or adults, either one, that weren't really into the spirit of the restaurant, right? Because maybe the rest of the family is, but there's always one person or two that are just like, I don't want to deal with this. I don't want you to be my aunt. I don't want, don't tell me to eat my vegetables. I'm just here to eat food. Like, this is not my deal.
There's
How
always
did you not handle them, but how did you help them? Because you seem like the kind of person who understood that and would help them still have a good time. And I want to know how you did that, because I'm pretty sure you did.
So, I have a saying that I say about people that come in to a themed restaurant that don't want to be themed with, and they're miserable people. I don't care.
I appreciate
what
you saying
try
that.
to do.
Yeah.
But the other people in the party are then not getting the same experience as the table next to them.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be careful. They still get good service. I mean, they still, get their refills. I don't do anything that isn't like up to par, but it just blows my mind that people would come in and they don't want theming.
Mm-hmm.
And it happens.
Mm-hmm.
Or on the other side of it, you'll get your little chit that has the guest name on it and everything, and it says high theming.
Mm.
And to me, I'm like, high theming? What do they want? You know? But
Cartwheels, Elaine, cartwheels.
but it's hit or miss. It's really hard.
Totally. And you're so right. They call, the hospitality industry. I was a bartender for years. And I waited tables. I had been a busser when in high school or right after high school. So I've been in that world, and it's so funny. It's like if you're a waiter or if you're taking orders, people, it's just the different ways people treat different people. So sometimes they can come in, just have a chip on their shoulder. As a bartender, it was so interesting. Nobody did that. I have zero complaints as a bartender because people come in like, I don't want them to spit in my drink, but there was a legitimate fear and a respect. Like, and they'd be like, bartender, let me tell you about, they'd talk to me about religion, politics, all the things you're not supposed to talk about. They just like I was the counselor,
Right.
but I was a full bar. But it was so interesting how I'll say this, the different caricatures. I'd come in, and if I was waiting a table, someone would just assume that I was this character. And sometimes that character is someone that they can just, it's a lesser character. I'm someone that they can sort of use and abuse or just unload from their day. But sometimes I've noticed this when I was bartending, it was like, oh, the bartender, ooh, ah, ee. It was a different character. But all of those times I was a character. Every single one. Bussing or waiting or bartending. And it's so interesting when people come in, their expectations or their presuppositions about
Right.
who you are and why you're there, and sometimes it takes people time to warm up. You've probably had people that have come in and been like grumpy and angry, and you've won them over, and
I,
suddenly they're
yeah,
like
you can.
their posture changes.
Yeah. Well, I think sometimes too, servers and bartenders in general, um, I don't think we're looked at as having a job. I don't think people
Yeah,
think it's a job.
yeah,
I mean, I grew up in a small farm town, but I
yeah.
didn't say I want to grow up and be a waitress. But
Yeah,
my first job in high school was a waitress in a diner. You
you're
know what I
right.
mean?
You're right.
But I
And
mean, I went to college. I did, but
I, I think a lot of people can relate with that. Like, is anyone here a teacher? I don't know.
I've
Like,
worked in kids' children's
yeah.
ministry, and
Has
people tell
any,
me the same
do you
thing.
have,
That's not a job. I'm like,
do you have
sure.
teachers? And, there's a lot more. This is why it's so cool that you're on the podcast. And this is at the end of the podcast. This is where I'd love to go with it, is people that are not only in the hospitality industry, but also teachers and all the people that other people walk in and treat you like you're a character. But you've been there, and your longevity and anyways, we'll go there when we end. Don.
I was just looking at some of the pictures because I've eaten there with my kids growing up a handful of times, and we've always had a great experience. And I was trying to figure out if you've waited on us, but I was going through old pictures. But this is a little bit of an unusual question. So I am 57, so I look at all of the nostalgia and the items that are placed, and I have all these random pictures of the TVs, even in the waiting room, because I'm like, I love these TVs. But what is your favorite like missed object that you just love seeing at work and you're like, no one notices it, or something that stands out that's like a nostalgia relic that you're like, wow, they don't even notice that. That's maybe something that catches your eye every time you're at work, or your favorite piece.
well, the one thing that I always so we have 16 stations, okay? And so each station has different stuff in it. And when I work in the one station, you have to walk by where there's like a china closet and it has all these dishes and stuff in there. And on the counter, there are a rack of glasses in a holder, and they have like this plastic around them, or this hard plastic. And whenever I see that, my memory, and you guys are going to laugh, is when I was growing up, when you filled your car up with gas, you could get one of those glasses for a quarter.
I'm gonna laugh.
And we used to like love to go to the gas station when my dad would go fill up the car and take a quarter and go in, and we could get our own glass.
That's
And
cool.
they're there all the time.
I love that. I love that. I'm thinking, I think I've seen the china cabinet. I probably have pictures
We
of
have
it.
a couple. We have a
Okay.
couple.
Okay, yeah. And then when you say 16 stations, because I know you can sit in a kitchen, there's different, like one of them has a stove behind, and then one of them is like the TV island. Can you tell about the stations? Because when, the listener is thinking 16 stations, maybe elaborate on that.
Oh, okay. So when you first walk in to our dining room, and the tables are set up, the TV tables and stuff like that, the different tables are broken into different sections, and there are 16 stations. So you might be like the 20s is a room all by itself. And so is the one up front, but in one room area, there could be 4 different stations. So you have 4 different servers in one particular area. So it just depends. And they pull our stations out of a bag, and it's a little chit, and it tells you what station you're going to be in for the day. So you never know where you're going to be when you come into work. You never know.
Interesting. That is
But
You're ready.
when you talk about pictures and stuff, the way that started was we needed an icebreaker, and our name tags used to have where we were from, and that was our icebreaker. But then one year we didn't have where we were from, and so in our location, we got one of those little photo albums, like from the dollar store, and we put family pictures in there. And then the kids, you're missing from the family album,
That's because they whined too much. So
Yeah.
they were
I'm sorry,
out of
Boogie.
So then I would take a picture, and I had labels, and they mailed me back their pictures, and I have albums of pictures. And then after COVID, we couldn't take pictures. But then when we could is when I created my Facebook page. So I have a Facebook page, Annie Lane's 50s Primetime Family Album.
Yeah.
That's
Tons of photos, tons.
That's
and if
great.
you want to know, listeners, about all the rooms, going to Don's question, if you want to see what these rooms look like, go on that Facebook page, because it's picture after picture after picture of like this, and they're awesome. They're great. And these are, every single picture is a story, and also a very educational, like, this is what the rooms look like. And you've done such a great job of snapshotting, on Facebook, which is so cool. The person, like, and these are all a bunch of happy people, happy fed people, and that you take pictures with, and spreading the love, sharing the magic. And it's so cool. It's so great that it's so. I'm gonna plug the Facebook page now. Like, go search Elaine's Facebook page, because it is truly wonderful.
And I do look at it. I do come home and sit in my rocker recliner and go back to my page and look, and just reminisce about my day. And it's crazy.
It's wonderful. Venerina.
Yes.
Hey, back to you, my friend. What do you think?
Okay. So in all of your years of working in prime time, has there ever been like one family that, I mean, obviously you have their photos, so you're never going to forget them, but has there one that just made a mark on you?
It would be so hard to narrow it down to one.
Aunt Elaine doesn't have favorites.
Everybody's my favorite. but it's really hard. But like, when I see a child grow up, I mean, I'll give you an example. Stephen, the first time I waited on him, he was 5 years old. He's 30. And he invited me to his wedding. I'm going to his wedding in September.
You actually will? You're going to go? Oh.
Yes. I've been to graduations. I have one child. I waited on her first birthday.
Mhm.
She's a doctor now. She
Wow.
lives in Miami.
Wow.
They come in for a meal and they leave making my memories.
I think Ashley wants no. I think Lisa wants to know: are you going to write a book?
A couple people have asked me, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't know. I mean, if I had somebody that could share my stories and different things, but I don't know. Wouldn't I have to get permission to talk about people? I don't know.
I mean, I don't know.
But I'll tell you what, this is almost as good as writing a book.
Yeah. You're
It's so
sharing the magic.
exciting.
That's why
You
we're
know,
here. No, it
When
really
you
is.
when you go to the wedding, are you in costume?
no, but I'm
With
his
your
favorite aunt. He tells me that all the time.
Oh,
That's fabulous.
I like that you're not though. I think that's that there's authenticity there. You know, that you're like, wow, I could go to some. I'm not just you're not playing like Ronald McDonald, like having a
No, I
birthday
was
party.
joking. That was actually joking. I knew she
Oh,
would.
I know, but that's what's
Yeah,
beautiful is these are authentic connections with authentic people over
absolutely.
time, and they get to know you, and you get to know them over over,
It's amazing.
it's
Part of their life.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's a I think there's something there. I think we all, to some extent, in our lives, not to get too existential, but we all play on a role. We all have a role to play in our lives, and we all, um, whatever job I do, I have to show up as a professional, no matter what I do. But then to make authentic connections within that role is just really,
Says a lot.
really beautiful, and to do so as much as you get invited to a wedding or it's just so I mean,
It's
I think it's cool. I
it
think
is. It's
it's
crazy.
yeah, it's an honor.
But you know what I tell people? What you see is what you get. It's me. I
Yeah, I
mean,
love that
I
too.
laugh out loud in church, and the
Uh-huh.
only thing bad about that is then the preacher knows when I'm not there.
As a preacher, I will tell you those are my favorite people. So I like to be heckled. I like loud. I like laughter. I like, so
Joy, you got to have joy.
you have to. Yeah.
And to be able to make such an impact over one meal, that's incredible.
Yes.
Meals are
Exactly.
important.
That's amazing.
Actually, when you stop and think about it, it's less than 60 minutes
Mhm.
because they're usually in and out in like
Yeah.
45 to 50 minutes. I mean, I'm not even with them an hour.
Yeah.
And you're able to make such an impact. That's amazing. And Dawn, you've been going for years. I mean, you said your boys were little and now they're grown.
Yeah. And I should have like paid attention more. I mean, they've always enjoyed everyone in character and being yelled at about the vegetables and things like that. But I should have paid more attention. I guess I didn't take pictures with the servers. I was just in the moment type of thing. But we always laughed and loved going there. But I was going to ask you because I could feel when you were saying that y'all draw straws or you used a different term about what station you were going to work at. I could tell that that's something you obviously have a favorite station.
Um, I kind of like to be in an area where there's not a lot of traffic, but more than what station you're in is who's going to be working next to me.
Oh, okay. I knew there was something because I could see your face. I'm like, she likes a certain, that's it. It's the people, the four that you're working with, you're saying.
Yes. So
I got you.
I like being, well, it would be the 20s. I like being in the room by myself
Mm-hmm.
because then I don't have to worry about anybody else, and some servers don't like other servers talking to their tables because they're in their character, their role, and and then they'll come in the kitchen and they'll say, "Oh, Elaine, table 50 wants to see you. You waited on them last year, but they weren't sure you were still going to be here." And I'm like, "Okay." So I go talk to them and they're like, "You're still here?" I'm like, "Yeah."
They're like, can we have, and that might be a little bit tough. You do not need to talk in depth about this, but I would imagine that after the amount of people know you, and to say, hey, is Elaine still here? Is Elaine still here? Does she still work here? And then the newbie's like, ugh, yeah, she's still here. And then they want to talk to you, but I could, yeah, but you can't, I could see there'd be some sort of like from the newbies to be like that, but you gotta do, you are who you are, and you've been there as long that's got to be hard to kind of be the rock star, I would imagine.
No,
And
I'm not the rock star.
not that you think of yourself that way, but
No,
but
but it's a good feeling to know that when I go to work, I'm going to make a difference,
yeah,
even if it's just one family,
right.
you know? Like, and this happened the other day. You have special needs that come in, and this little boy was 7 years old, and he had his headphones on, and I asked him his name, and he told me his name, and his mom looked at me like, he's talking to you but didn't say anything, and his name was Roman. And I said, I have a great nephew, Roman, and he's the same age as you, and he has a sister named Isabella. And then he looks at his mom and he says, I have an Isabella in my class. And the mom was just so overwhelmed that this child talked to me.
Mm.
And it takes nothing to talk to a child.
No, Lisa has a huge heart for that sort of things. Lisa, do you have any thoughts on what Aline said?
I've shared many times. My oldest has said Disney's the place where he feels the most normal because people treat him and see him. And so I think says a lot for you that you saw that little guy and brought Roman right out of where he was. So that's amazing.
Yeah.
And I think too, like something we're hearing about here is something that a lot of people are bad at, which is connection, right? Because like I've stood in line behind people at Disney for 3 hours. Unfortunately, it's a long time, but I didn't know their names, And so that's like on me because I didn't take the time to get to know them. And we probably could have been friends by the end, right? Because we're both at Disney, we're both doing something we love. And so I think like for me, being raised in a time when a lot of connection is done in like social media or over the phone, like I never see my friends, I call them or I text them, or usually I just text them, right? But instead, you were taking time to get to know people and make meaningful connections with them right there that they would never forget, even if,
Mm.
in just in that little thing. And I think that's such an art that people like don't know how to really do anymore. And so
Mm.
I think for you to do that, to teach them and to show them like, hey, you can make a friend and make their day anywhere you are, on the plane, on the bus, at work, doesn't matter. Like you can make your work awesome. So I like that. And I also like that you had such a can-do, awesome, positive attitude about your job because I think a lot of people fail to do that, even if they do work a service job. Like I work at Hobby Lobby and I adore it because I get the same kind of feeling when
Yeah.
I go because I love making people smile and like helping them find stuff.
I love
It's like
Hobby
my thing.
Lobby.
So
Jackson, I didn't
I
know that
totally
about
see
you.
you. I see that commitment and it's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we got about 5 more minutes. Elaine, are you okay with about 5 more minutes?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I think Venerina and Ashley, I want to try to give
I
equal
just wanted to say
balance to people.
you really make an impact on families because like when I've had you a few times, you made coming there like great. I was there not too long ago with some family members, and our server just didn't, she wasn't into it, and she just didn't make it fun. You could just, I'm hoping she was just having an off day, and we tried to draw her into it, and I don't know, it was just really sad. I'm like, ugh,
And the sad part about it is it goes back to training. Who trained them? If that
yeah.
trainer doesn't enjoy their job and doesn't, you don't have to go above and beyond, just interact.
And
And
like we were sitting next to one of her other tables, and they were like the same. And so the kids were goofing off. We're like, "Aren't you gonna put the kids in the corner?" And she's just looking at us like, "What are you guys talking about?" I'm like,
You want to put them in the corner.
they do that.
Isn't that
Some
called
of them will.
childcare? They're not going to take care of the children.
yeah, but
Jeez.
now, like over the years, before COVID, and I know a lot changed after COVID. Um, there are things that we can't do that we used to be able to do that were just little things, like, take your hat off at the table, or you need to eat your vegetables. And they don't ask it what the vegetable is, and it's corn, and they can't eat corn. Well, then you stand there and, you might feel a little guilty because you're kind of scolding them for not eating their vegetables, but they really can't eat it. Or maybe they're going through chemo and they wear a hat all the time. So some of the theming has changed since COVID, but I'm not mean. I'm loud, but I'm not mean.
If I'm ever there, you can be like, Jeff, you can stick that little, my grandpa used to do this when I was growing up. You eat that. You eat that. And he'd put his pinky finger, he was a smoker too. It was like weird and long, gross nail. But he'd be like, you eat those vegetables, young man. Okay, grandpa. You can do that. You can do that to me. And I'd be like, thank you. I would just have tears of joy. I'd be like, it'd bring back the nostalgia. I'm just happy to have. Thank you for caring about me. Is what I would say. And I actually think maybe that's why. I don't know. There's a lot of love to you and for the longevity that you've had. Is just the who is so funny. It's like you go to a restaurant, someone invests in you, that cares enough about you to say, eat your vegetables. Like, you never know. That could be the thing. Like, you care enough about me okay, I'll eat my vegetables. Some people feel forgotten. They feel lonely. And to have someone that, like, in that old timey sort of, even 1950s of like, eat your vegetables. Hey, I care about you. This is your aunt. This is your aunt. We're family. Some people don't have family.
I know.
There's a lot of people, I think, that want family, or they have family, but they're not really family. Connected. They're not connected. And so I love your story. I love what you do.
Thank you.
Yeah. And if you have any advice to, well, let's go to Venerina and then I'll close out if that's all right. But Venerina, do you have anything else?
Yeah, I think the key takeaway from today's episode is just be more like Aunt Elaine. You have 60 minutes with someone, even if it's only 3 hours, like Jackson said, in a ride queue.
Yeah.
Try to make a positive impact because you never know what someone could be going through.
I love that.
And
Anyone else?
Venerina and I are going to come eat when you're there one day.
Yes.
Okay. And here's the thing. You asked if I'm there. They're really not allowed to tell you for security reasons. But when you check in, you can request to be seated at my table.
Oh,
There
good to
needs
know.
to be a lightning lane for Aunt Elaine.
Oh,
Aunt Elaine.
I've had people
Aunt
that
Elaine Lightning.
right.
Yeah.
They wait. And I'm like, why did you wait? I'll come talk to you. And they're like, no, it's not the same.
I love that.
But you can request to sit at my table.
Awesome.
Okay.
What days are you typically there?
Monday through Friday lunch.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
Anyone else before I sort of piece it out? Any other insights? Any other quick questions?
Just
Don?
thank you for what you do. Thanks. I think I know that I always thank every cast member I see that helps me because they all do such a great job. But I've met cast members who go above and beyond in their work to make it awesome, and they are always the ones that I remember the most. So thanks for being one of those for everyone.
Oh, thank you.
So true. I was just going to say the
Yeah.
PB&J milkshake
Is
Hands-
good.
Oh my, it's shame on me for ever trying it, is all I have to say. Because I feel like I have to get it every time. And yeah, everybody listening, don't sleep on the PB&J milkshake.
And that's also at Woody's Roundup Rodeo.
Don't tell me.
Yes, if you can't get into one, the other has it too.
And Venerina, I'm going to have you, why don't you close us out? Why don't you, ask, how can we support Elaine
Yeah.
and all the stuff that you do sometimes? So.
Okay. So I know that you said you have the Facebook page, which is, do you want to give us the name again for our listeners?
Aunt Elaine's 50s Primetime Family Album.
Okay, you heard that, guys. Go ahead and follow and make sure to check out the family photos. And if you're one of the family members who's eaten at prime time, go ahead and upload your photos. And don't forget to like, follow, and share Sharing the Magic.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
we're gonna outro us. I hope. And then let's do it. All right. Hopefully it'll be better than the beginning, but
Thank you for joining us for another enchanting episode of Sharing the Magic. We have magical conversations that are crafted to your ears. The edutainment show where education and entertainment collide each week. We bring you whimsical interviews with Disney guests who share their magical experiences and reveal how they are woven into the Disney fabric. Don't forget to hit that follow button to stay updated on our latest episodes. Spread the word and let your friends know they can tune in wherever they enjoy their favorite podcasts. You can also connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and X, formerly Twitter, at @SharingTheMagicPod. Until next time, keep sharing the magic and rattle the stars.
all right, everyone, give a good see y'all. Bye.